In this lesson you're going to learn how to give objects color by using Blender's shader buttons and the materials and material links, and we will be experimenting with some different colors and different material linking, and should be able to understand that after this lesson. So to begin with, let's go back to our gray cube. There we had lit and rendered this gray cube, and now we're going to begin to give that color. So let's close out of the render window here. Go ahead and escape out of that. Okay, so here's our setup. We've got a 3-point lighting setup, and we're going to go ahead and select our cube with our right click. Go ahead and click on our shader buttons, and the cube already has a material. It has a gray material. It has two users on this material. I'm going to delete it and show you what you might get. You might get nothing here except an Add New button under the Links and Pipeline. So we'll go ahead and click Add New, and we'll get just a plain gray material. Moving over here to the Material mini menu, we click on this box next to COL, that's short for color, and click on a color, and then once we select our color we just mouse off of the box and that color will be applied. So if we want to change that color, we can go here and click again and select a different color and mouse right off, and now that color is linked to the mesh and the object. Now go ahead and go to our scene buttons, click on render, and let's see what that looks like. And there you have it, a green cube. Pretty impressive. Now let's see what else we can do with this green cube. I'm going to go ahead and use the G key to first select the camera and use the G key and middle mouse button to zoom out a bit from the cube. Then I'll select the cube and do a Shift D to duplicate, and another Shift D to duplicate. Make 3 copies of this cube, and you'll notice they're all green. 3 separate cubes, but they're all green. And we look in the material settings, and next to the name there's a number 3 that says there are 3 users for this material. So they are linked. This material is linked to these 3 cubes, and so they all share it. If we change it, it'll change on all of them. It's the same material in all 3 cubes. We can see it right here in our data browse. We can go and select a different material. And you probably will not have a data browse. I have that because I have a lot of materials loaded into this Blender file. Typically you'll just get a few colored balls to indicate your different materials with their names next to them. But if you get over a certain number of materials, you'll get a text-based data browse. So I'll go ahead and cancel out of that, and let's go ahead and select one of the cubes, and we'll go ahead and click on this number, and we get a prompt that says make it single user, and what it's done is it's broken off a copy of this material. So now we're going to click on the color and go ahead and select a red, so a reddish orange. Click there and mouse right off, and now that the cube on the right, we've changed that to orange. But what we did by clicking on that number next to the material name, we actually broke off a copy of the material for that cube as a single user. So now let's go ahead and select the cube on the left, and it is still linked to the other cube, so anything we do to it is going to affect both of those cubes because they share the material. This is really important to understand about the way the pipeline works here. Pipeline being the flow or the connectivity of things, the way they're linked together. So let's go ahead and we'll click on that number and we'll break off a copy, make a single user for the cube on the left, and now we can go change the color on this cube, and will not affect the middle cube because it's no longer sharing or no longer linked to the same material. Now let's take a look here at the automatic naming feature. If we click on that little car, then Blender gives this blue cube the automatic name Dark Sky. So whichever object is selected, you'll get that material, and if you click on that little car, you'll get an automatic name. Let's click on the cube in the middle, and I'm going to go to the data browse and show you how Dark Sky is now in my list of materials. So just navigate to the D's here. And there it is right there, Dark Sky. So I'll go ahead and right click on that, and it'll show up in my menu, and go ahead and select Data Block, and now it is updated in the preview, and I'll just click here in the window to make sure it updates in the window. And sometimes it'll update right away in the window, sometimes you need to click in the window to get it to update or redraw the window. So there we have two users now for Dark Sky. So that's how the linking works. It's they're sharing that material. I'm going to go ahead and just make a single user for it here, or maybe just go ahead and break it off. Go ahead and hit the X. We'll just break the material off, and now it has no material. We'll go ahead and add a new material. Sort of a little bit of review here, and go to the color, and then let's go ahead and make that green again. So we've got our, not quite our primary colors, but a blue, green, and orange cube.